something that I see a lot of comments about in the comment section of our videos is, where's the Civic? What's up with the Freak? How come I haven't seen the Civic in a long time? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mickey. We're back here again in the throttle workshop. And of course, I got Ricky with me.
Let's go.
These are cappuccino parts. These are not available in the US. So if for some reason you actually have a cappuccino like this man, or like me, you can't buy this currently. You have to order this through Gredi USA, and they have to special order it from Trust Japan. What we have here is a front mount intercooler. We have a Gredi blow off valve kit, and we have a Gredi cold air intake with their new air inks filter, which I'll explain more about that in a minute. But as you guys can see, judging by the size of my hand in front of these boxes, these parts aren't very big.
This is your cold air, bro?
That's a cold air intake.
Right here? Oh, man.
I mean, this is like kind of normal size, you know?
Right, this is normal.
But this is our front mount intercooler kit.
Intercooler and piping are here.
Intercooler, piping, tow hook. This is a really cool kit.
No way.
Yeah, but why don't you pull that intercooler out of there, Rick, and show them how massive this thing is.
What?
It looks like an oil cooler for the rest of our builds.
I was just gonna say that. This is like the size of an oil cooler.
Man, look at the construction. The intercooler piping is also minuscule. Ricky, your thumb is bigger than that. So this car came with Gredi pipes. Now I went ahead and painted these black. I wanted them to look more OEM, and I'll probably do that with the intercooler as well. This is a factory intercooler here, and it basically sits right here. This is the mount for the factory intercooler, and it takes air in through this cutout, and it's forced through it right here. Now, what this Gredi kit is gonna do is actually gonna move it down to here, and we're gonna take air through the bumper. I did notice that since we're removing the factory tow hook, I was like, well, that sucks, because I want a tow hook. Well, guess what, Ricky? They sent us a tow hook. So it has a new tow hook.
Nice.
Actually, it's something I could use at the circuit. All the couplers. We do have a blow-off valve. I have no idea who makes this terrible looking thing, but it recirculates. We're gonna be adding our Gredi unit here. What's nice is it's actually a kit, so it bolts on. And then this intake is gonna be removed. We'll be adding the Gredi air inks intake, which is really cool. It's called a B-type. Yeah, B-type.
For very fast. It's gonna be very fast.
All right, well, we got a great handle on this thing so far. We got the front bumper off, which is pretty cool, so we can see what's going on back here. Ricky's gonna go ahead and trim this off because this needs to be removed in order for our intercooler to sit here. We also need to remove this tow hook and put on the Gredi aftermarket tow hook, and also remove this panel so that we can take off the factory intercooler. While Ricky's working on some of that stuff, I'm gonna actually trim up this bumper. I actually have a new bumper coming from Japan for this car. So in the meantime, I'm actually gonna cut off this front license plate bracket. It will be in the way of airflow for the front mount intercooler, so we're gonna go ahead and just get rid of that because we don't run a front plate on this car. And it will look a lot cleaner as well without that in there. So I'm gonna cut that off while Ricky's doing other stuff to get the front mount intercooler on. Well, we've mounted the mounting bracket that goes to the center of the core support, and we've trimmed back our splash guard here, our air diversion plate. We're gonna go ahead and try to sort of mimic where this is gonna sit. Ricky installed the tow hook, the Gredi tow hook here, which is actually a pretty cool part.
No, she ain't going nowhere.
All right, well, we're gonna move on to the Gredi blow-off valve. This is their FV product line, and the FV stands for floating valve construction. And so what that means is a lot of times you'll hear cars with blow-off valves, and when you sort of modulate the throttle, you'll hear it go.
What?
Or however that is, I don't know. Ricky's does it. When you like lift off the throttle a little bit, it like.
It's flutters.
So this actually has a spring on top of the valve, essentially inside the housing, And so unless you do a hard lift off the throttle, you don't get that whistle noise. So a lot of times it can just become overbearing where it's just whistling all the time when you're like modulating the throttle on the freeway or on a side road, for instance, where this one will not do that. So I'm curious to give it a try. I know we had this blowout valve on the 180SX or 240SX for you guys here in the United States that we gave away previously, and we loved it on that car. So it should be a good, should match for our cappuccino. So as you can see, it's quite a nice piece. I like all of the billet looking components and the anodizing and the black chrome. It's just really sharp looking piece. All right, well, Ricky's already got the blowout valve off.
O-ring still there.
One thing I need to say is, obviously, none of you guys probably have Suzuki Cappuccinos, or very few of you that are watching these videos actually have Cappuccinos. So you're probably wondering why we're featuring all these Greddy products. And the reason for that is we do sell all of Greddy's product line from the US here on throtl.com. So if you guys have a specific vehicle you're building and you want to give this, say this blow-off valve from Greddy a try, the FV valve, we do sell it for other applications, not just the cappuccino, obviously. All right, well, that's a wrap on the blow-off valve. Woo. It looks pretty sick. Got a little Greddy vacuum line on here, which is a nice touch. I'm really looking forward to hearing what this sounds like.
Yeah, me too.
So we went ahead and popped off the air filter cover already. And we're gonna pull the piping out as well as the box here. Now, I should probably introduce this filter setup to you guys because I'm not gonna use it the way that it's traditionally used. If you guys are JDM parts fans like I am, you know that they use these foam type filters. The guys over at Greddy USA gave me the option to either run this or run their new Air Inks filter, which is more of a traditional style air filter that actually catches more particulate than the foam filters do. Now, if you're looking for power runs, this is the way to go. This is definitely not gonna flow as much air, but for street driving, it's definitely the way to go because it's gonna keep any crap out of your engine. This kit is also very nicely put together from Greddy, and it comes with basically a cast aluminum elbow, which is also very tiny like everything else on this car, with a nice Greddy stamping on it, so I'm a big fan of that. Well, Ricky and I set aside 2 hours to do this job, and we're at about 1 hour and 50 minutes. So all we gotta do is put everything back together now. I'm pretty happy. What do you think, dude?
It's just a bumper and a plastic cover, and which is done in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think
2 hours is actually a good time.
yeah, super happy with this. We got a lot more cappuccino content coming. Ricky just got an Audi R8, so he's kind of balling out of control at the moment, so he might have lost a little interest in cappuccino stuff.
Hey, I'm still driving my cap.
I'm just kidding. He did get an Audi R8, which is super awesome, so congratulations to him for that. I can't wait to go for my first ride, and I haven't even been in it yet. But I just saw it for the first time today, and it's amazing. So anyway, cappuccino content, hang in there, guys. I have a heap of parts, like a full build worth of parts coming from Japan. It's currently on the ocean, so once that stuff starts trickling in, you guys will be getting more content on the cappuccinos, and I'm sure Ricky has some things planned up his sleeve as well.
I got a few things coming.
All right, well, that's all for the cappuccino content today. So let's transition over to something that I see a lot of comments about in the comment section of our videos is, where's the Civic? What's up with the Freak? How come I haven't seen the Civic in a long time? So for those of you that are actually new to our channel, because this car has been on this lift, you can see all the dust on it. It's been probably 7 months that it's been sitting up here. It's in the background of every video we make, so you probably see it, and if you're not familiar with the project, you're wondering what it actually is. For those of you unfamiliar, this is the Freak, as I call it, front engine, rear drive, EK, F-R-E-K, the Freak. And if you are familiar with the project, we've lifted the tunnel so that it actually can fit a drive shaft inside. And we've also actually gotten rid of the rear seats. We've added a fuel cell, and that's all because we've actually decided that we're going to be putting a K20 turbocharged engine in the engine bay. You guys can go back and check out our previous videos and see kind of how this all fits. This has already been in the car. We've already created a subframe. We've got a lot of partners that have actually stepped up in the meantime in the last 7 months. Man, you can see all the dust on this thing. It's a shame. We are gonna be getting back on this fairly soon, and I'm excited about that. I should give a huge shout out to the partners that have come on in the meantime. We've got Mayhem Metalworks. They're supplied a couple bash bars, one for the front and rear, and they are custom for this project in that they've added a jacking point for the rear of the car. I just love this raw finish, and they basically just put a clear powder over top of it. It looks absolutely beautiful. We've also are going to be utilizing Haltech for engine management on this car because it is going to be a track car. And in order to work with them and use their new in-dash logging system, we actually picked up this Mako Motorsports in-dash display holder. So we've got a lot of really cool parts, and this is just scratching the surface. Track Tough has signed on. We've got a bunch of really cool products coming from them as well for this thing. So once it gets back from paint, this thing is gonna get bananas. Again, if you're new to the project, most of this car is carbon fiber. We've got carbon doors, carbon hood, carbon roof, a lot of carbon fiber. And really what the idea behind that was to get the weight down, to make this thing as efficient on the track as possible. So there's many reasons why we haven't actually been working on this. One of those reasons is we have a lot going on around here, and this is a personal project of mine for the channel. As you guys know, I work on all these cars with Ricky and Evan, and they take a lot of our time. So this has to be a back burner project. There are a couple other things going on with it in the background that I haven't really talked about, and that's because we're missing some parts that we need to get this thing on the ground and rolling to the paint shop. Yes, of course, we could put a dolly under it and roll it off to the paint shop on a dolly like we did the 240SX, but that's not what I want to do. We've got some things in the rear suspension geometry that I want to be just right. And we're working with a partner who is custom making some parts for us for the rear end, and it's taken a while. If you guys have ever built a car and dealt with custom shops, that happens. With the addition of COVID-19 in the mix, it's only amplified the situation and made it worse. I just got a call from the guy last week saying that all of the water jetted parts that are gonna basically make up these rear suspension bits have just arrived at his facility, and now all he has to do is put everything together and get a coating on it. So he's gonna powder coat there at his facility. As soon as we have those in our hands, guys, rest assured this thing will be on the ground and we're gonna get it off the paint. To say I'm excited to get back on this is an understatement. Ricky and I really have put a lot of hours into this car already, but it still needs a lot of hours once it comes back from paint to get it all buttoned up. We are excited to get back on this project, more so than you guys even know. We appreciate you guys asking about it, but I just wanted to give you a quick update. That's where we are with the Freak, and we hope you guys can be patient. We will have content coming up for you very soon. So we hope you enjoyed the Cappuccino update, the Freak update. There's gonna be a lot of content coming for both of these cars very soon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and staying till the end. If you did stay to the end, leave a Freak comment down below, hashtag the Freak, so we know that you watched all this. We'll see you in the next one. What we have here is a front mount intercooler. We have a Bredy glow off valve. We have a Greddy blow off valve kit.